quick stream of just the engine changes. It's a really quick stream because I've got to go out in a moment and I need to help my wife with some stuff. Basically, I've adjusted the engine, the way the engine functions, slightly, so apart from the fact we need to reset the generator here. So one of the biggest problems that was happening with the new engine management system is as you climbed, you'd lose torque and the engine wouldn't move to compensate. That no longer happens, as we'll see in a moment. The engine should happily shift and compensate as we climb. We're going to basically tell it that we want to maintain at or around continuous power. So as you can see, we're maintaining about 64 or so percent torque, 93.1 ng. The thing here is we actually need to get up to about 22,000 feet, so flight level 220, before we see any real major change in that value. Because we're just basically doing climb to show this, we're just going to stay around in basically a circle over Woomera. Continue to climb at 4,000 feet per minute as best we can. You'll notice that we get some flickering on the torque and the like. It's just the nature of the changes to the way the engine's handled now, plus in some respects it's a little bit more realistic. It's rare that you get an engine that just constantly puts out one value. Normally there's some fluctuations and the like between the equipment. But it's also very much frame rate dependent. If your frames start tanking, then you'll start seeing less smooth values. Okay, so we're approaching 20,000 feet. still sitting about 64-65% torque, or PSI torque I should say. But you'll notice as we start approaching 22, that starts falling off. Now normally under the old system it would just keep falling off. What we should see is the engine start to adjust to maintain those values. So as you can see, engine's raising, the NG's going up. We're maintaining roughly the same amount of torque. Not perfect, but fairly close. Eventually here we will reach a point where, of course, the engine just can't continue to give us the torque value we're after. Happens about 28,000 feet. You'll notice we're now in the limit areas. We're in the danger zone. We can no longer maintain the torque, even if we max out. And it's falling off. The other thing is that throttle should be a lot smoother. You'll not see the NG values really fall below 71 when we're up this high. That's the point at which we get zero torque. As we speed up things, so we're getting a lot finer throttle control. You do have to remember there is a programmed 2-second lag on the throttle to match that of most turboprops. Rather than the 7 seconds delay that typically is in flight sim. So we're going to stay at idle here. And we'll notice that we're at 71, but as we drop, our NG will actually adjust, just like, again, our lower NG will adjust just like our higher NG adjusted as we went up, because as we get lower the engine works less to maintain the torque until it can basically sit down at 60. And give us a fairly decent idle. The fuel flow values are still off slightly, but we are working on getting those in line. Hopefully we can get them there. And then with the persistency system, as I envision it working, if you overwork the engine and things like that for too much, you'll start noticing that the engine just won't perform the same way. It may, you may not be able to get this same torque values for out. It's before it limits and things like that, because the engine will just be working harder and all that stuff. The other thing, of course, is that if you push the engine for too long at maximum thrust, it will catch fire and things like that on you. So we're going to land this aircraft in a short moment. We'll do a break over the runway here. Remember that I don't have this one mapped out. Great. So we just had an engine cutout. We starved it for fuel. Luckily, we were in the pattern. Because yeah, I'm still sorting out the lower limits. Probably actually have to have the engine idling a little higher than I have it at the moment. Simply because where it sits at the moment tends to, well, starve it for fuel. Yeah, that's just a really quick look. I'll try and over the next couple of days get a couple more dev diaries up. Hope you enjoy.